In Prime7 News, a 20-year-old man is in an induced coma after being bitten by a shark at Ballina. Patrons and staff threatened at a North Coast bowling club by thieves armed with knives. Lest we forget, crowds gather to pay their respects this Remembrance Day.
And rain and storms are expected to return later in the week. I've got all the details for you soon. Don't go away.
This is Prime7 News at 6 with Madelaine Collignon.
Good evening. A 20-year-old man is in an induced coma after being attacked by a shark at Ballina. Sam Morgan was bitten on the thigh while surfing at Lighthouse Beach. Authorities today confirmed shark eco barriers will be trialled there over summer. Lucy Langtree has the story.
Experts believe a bull shark left these teeth marks on Sam Morgan's board. The 20-year-old was surfing alone at Lighthouse Beach when he was attacked. It was just before 6:30 p.m. He pulled himself from the water, screaming for help.
Less than 24 hours after Sam Morgan was attacked at Ballina, talkers again turned to the shark debate. But some of the people closest to the controversy have warned others to be cautious what they say.
It's the question causing hot debates.
Are people taking unacceptable risks? I mean, it's like everything else, isn't it? The better you are at surfing, the further you go out and the greater the risk.
But the people who know best say it's too soon to be asking.
Now for a check of the weather with Kenny Heatley, and a fair bit of cloud and rain over southern parts of the state, but no rain today for the North Coast. Kenny?
Yeah, that's right, Maddie. It did stay mostly dry. We do have a fair bit of rain with a deepening trough picking up that moisture from the Tasman Sea across southeast New South Wales. In fact, over the next 24 hours, some places here, the southwest slopes, south coast could get over 50 millimetres, and we've already seen that at Ulladulla today. We've also got a couple of isolated storms occurring in western Queensland and western New South Wales. But we've had an onshore flow, so there's been plenty of moisture in the atmosphere, and it hits the land and it produces a few clouds. But what's missing is the low pressure, which produces the rain. So it's been dry today, and further towards north, it hasn't been cool, but it hasn't been hot either, with temperatures around 25, 26 degrees across the north coast. But the weather is going to be turning. Maddie, I've got the latest forecast for you coming up soon.
Thanks, Kenny. Still to come in Prime7 News, farmers call for an urgent overhaul of the mining application process, and Munch Menus putting the bite on healthy food options in childcare centres.
And at 6:30, a young surfer in a coma and a beach closed after a shark attack at Ballina. The Royals joined thousands in Canberra, pausing to mark Remembrance Day. And the fiery plane crash that's killed all 9 people on board in the United States. All those stories and more. Join us live at 6:30.
Stay in touch 24/7 with Prime7 News.
Police are appealing for witnesses after a man was bashed in the face during a robbery in Tweed Heads. The 28-year-old was walking along Wharf Street at 9:30 last night when he was approached by 4 men. He was threatened with a knife, and cash and a mobile phone were stolen. The offenders then hit him in the face and took his backpack. One of the men is described as being 157 centimetres tall, with a slim build and short hair, wearing a grey shirt and black pants. There appears to be rumblings in the National Party, with reports one of its most senior ministers is about to get toppled. Reports are Education Minister Adrian Piccoli, who's also Deputy Leader of the Nationals, could be ousted next week in the final sitting week of Parliament for the year. Minister for Regional Development John Barilaro, who's a close friend of the party's leader Troy Grant, is expected to replace him as Deputy. Labor says it's time the Nationals stop the bickering.
My advice to Troy Grant, to Adrian Piccoli, to John Barilaro is stop the infighting, get back to work for the people of this state.
Meantime, the Greens have become an unlikely ally of Minister Piccoli's, describing him as the only reasonable and competent minister they have. Farmers are calling for an urgent overhaul of mining applications. They say the system is skewed to favour the big mining companies over small communities. But the New South Wales government denies that's the case.
But the state government says the mining policy process has been amended to give equal weight to a project's economic, environmental and social impacts. In a statement to Prime7, Planning Minister Rob Stokes' office told us clear rules are in place and the advice of experts is sought where required. Kathleen Curry, Prime7 News.
A healthy eating program has been launched in childcare centres across the mid-north coast. The Munch Menu project is offering $750 grants to childcare facilities that meet the new guidelines. Centre managers gathered at Good Start in Moonee to learn how to develop their menus and promote physical activity.
Early on in life, we actually develop our preferences for food and also our practices around eating and establish a healthy relationship with food. So it's actually a crucial period in a child's growth and development and actually learning to be a healthy eater.
The grant will be used to buy kitchen appliances to assist in food preparation.
I would so love a freezer. Especially coming into summer, you can do nice smoothie ice blocks and things for the kids go outside, and we can keep our bread fresh and that sort of thing.
The program is being introduced to centres across the mid-north coast. The day's sport is coming up next with a rising star ready to shine on the national tennis circuit, and local cheerleaders show they've got the right moves against Sydney's best. The stage is set for a standout performance from one rising star on the national tennis circuit. Teenager Crystal Clark has been selected as one of 3 players statewide to play in the New South Wales 14 and under girls team. And that's the day's sport. Up next here on Prime7 News, Kenny's back with your local weather forecast.
Hello again, everyone. We do have a trough that's deepening over New South Wales at the moment, and it is producing a fair bit of wet weather across southeastern parts of the state and some storms through western Queensland and western New South Wales and into Victoria as well. Now, that's going to continue to deepen and it's going to head towards the east, and so the weather is eventually going to turn across the northern coastline. We're going to see winds slowly shift around towards the north. Temperatures a little bit warmer than what they were today. Morning fog patches are expected tomorrow morning through most locations, but it will be patchy. And late in the day, some cloud and some showers with the risk of a thunderstorm in far southern areas, but it'll probably stay dry further towards the north. Now, as we wind it through, let's take a look at sunrise. It's 4:45 once again. Sunset at 7:20. And we've got fairly small swell at the moment. If you do like a surf, there's not much about. It's a little bit bigger across the south, but we are expecting a bit of an increase to come on Saturday, but it's going to be accompanied by a fairly strong southerly wind. So it is going to be on the messy side. Let's take a look at Friday. Warmer still. Now, we're going to see some quite heavy showers, the risk of severe thunderstorms across the mid-north coast. It'll probably be much lighter across places like Lismore up towards the Tweed Heads, but there is a risk of a storm up there as well. But most of the activity on Friday is going to be across the mid-north coast. And on Saturday, it's a bit of a mess widespread throughout. In fact, the heaviest falls this time will be across the far northern coast. So, Maddie, the weather is definitely turning, but it should ease up later in the weekend as that trough moves up towards the north into Queensland. Back to you.
Not really beach weather. Thanks, Kenny. And that's your local news for tonight. Thanks for your company. You can have your say on tonight's stories on Facebook and see tonight's bulletin in full online. Just search YouTube for Prime7 North Coast. Now, Prime7 News at 6:30 with Daniel Gibson.